Hi, I'm Steve Ehrman, Director of the Flashlight Program. This is a module in a series of workshops that together are called Asking the Right Questions, how instructors can collect evidence to improve teaching and learning with technology in their courses. This is the first module in the Asking the Right Questions series. Its goal is to help you design 2 questions of your own, just 2, to ask your own students. About what technology? Well, like the questions themselves, that's going to be up to you. We'll lead you through this step by step. It's pretty simple. It should take 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how much you'd like to talk with your colleagues and how deeply you'd like to think about it. Step 1, pick a technology. Maybe it's computer-based, maybe not. It should be a tool, resource, or facility that you or your students use a lot. It should be something that's important for learning in your course, for better or for worse. Pick a technology where you're not completely confident that you know what's happening. Pick a technology where getting more information from your students might help you make better choices about what to do next. Now, don't take too long with this step. This is a short workshop, and anyway, later you can come back to this step and start over if you like. Second, write down one particular activity that you or your students do with this technology. This activity should be something that you do more than once, maybe quite frequently in slightly different ways as the course unfolds. That's important because you want to study past instances of this activity in order to improve the activity the next times that you do it, or that your students do it. The more frequent and important the activity, the greater the value in asking your questions to illuminate what's going on. Pause the video, and after you write these things down, tell someone else in the group one hope and one concern that you have about this particular activity, the activity using that technology that you chose in your course. Again, think about the hopes and concerns about which you've got uncertainty. What might be going on? How might students be affected? How many of them? How good or how bad is what's going on? That sort of thing. Third step, write down 2 questions to ask your students, sometime soon, perhaps in the next week or 2. One question ought to help you understand your hope a bit more clearly. The other ought to shed light on the concern. Try to come up with questions that, no matter how the students answer them, you'll have a useful insight about how to improve teaching and learning with technology in the course. Now, don't expect to come up with a perfect question the first time. It takes skill to write a question like this, so write lots of drafts. Then pick the ones that are most likely to be worth your time to ask and worth your students' time to answer. To see some examples, take another look at the handout. Pause the video while you work on this for a while. Last step, tell someone else in your group what your questions are, and describe different ways in which your students might answer and what you would do depending if they answered that particular way. In other words, how can their feedback help you decide how to improve teaching and learning with that technology in your course? Pause the video again while you're talking this through. We're done. Please do let your leader and your collaborators know what happens in the next week or 2, even if it's nothing, although certainly we hope that you'll ask the questions. If this wasn't important enough to do in the press of events, we certainly need to know that too. If it did work out for you, let the facilitator and us here at the TLT group know. We'd like to share your experience and your questions with future participants in ARQ workshops. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.